Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a massive show coming up tonight as the Melbourne summer just doesn't know when to stop. How good is it? Tonight we see a great variety of fishing catch of the week, including the biggest barramundi to come out of Hazelwood Pondage so far. We'll show you the best lures to use in Hazlewood, and we discuss how you can have your say on a few proposed changes in regards to kayak and canoe fishing. All that and plenty more. So let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak, Adam Ring. Welcome, Ads.
G'day Dave, it's always good to know when during the show we're going to talk about how to improve kayak and canoe fishing, because I need all the help I can get after the weekend.
Yeah, I heard your dad registered a kayak last week. What a waste.
Yeah, he did. Suck.
Because he ain't going to have to do that much more. It's also a very big welcome to the man all the way from Shepparton, Stephen Victor Trelfel. Welcome, Trelly.
Thank you very much, David, John, Malcolm, Kramer.
We're sharing the love tonight.
We do.
Trelly, let's get into it straight away. It was
Yeah.
duck opening on the weekend, wasn't
That's right, yeah. Very exciting.
it? What does that
for us.
mean for you?
Oh, look, it's just one of those yearly events that comes around the calendar, and
Yep.
whether you go out and sort of like catch a fish at cod opening or get a duck at duck opening, it's just the whole build up to the thing. You go out and campfire and duck and get up the oil in the morning, pat the dog and that. Good fun.
Where'd you go?
Or the poodle. Just outside Shepparton, on a bit of private property with a couple of channels running through there and a couple of turkey nest dams. So yeah,
A couple of what?
turkey nest dams, which are those dams with the walls that are built up, and the water sits in them. They build them up. You go past, you sort of see like a wall of dirt. That's what they call a turkey nest dam.
Oh, just a dam.
The dam, yeah, it's a sort of above ground level dam.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah, but yeah,
And what, is
back
there
there.
ducks on there, on the dam?
Yeah, ducks on the dam. Yeah.
Why do they go to that dam?
Well, as part of the irrigation system, we've created a great system of water through the Golden Valley and all over the place that's great habitat for ducks, right, other than the natural wetlands that are around.
Yeah.
So they gravitate to those places.
And I saw a bloke on TV called Laurie, I think his name was. And,
duck off, Laurie.
and I think he was saying something about sometimes you get the wrong duck. Is there wrong ducks to shoot?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Do you know which
Yeah.
ones to shoot and which...
No, yeah, I do, yeah, because it's a bit like, when you see a woolly wagtail jumping around the backyard, you go, well, that's a woolly wagtail because he does certain things.
Yeah.
And it's the same with ducks. They'll fly past a certain wing beat, or they'll hold their head, or and that type of thing. And you can pick them up pretty quick. You sort of go, oh, that's a swan.
Yep.
So what happens if you shoot the wrong duck? Because it's not like you can catch and release.
Yeah.
What happens if... I mean, you come across this on the weekend.
I
a
did.
duck fish.
I know.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What the...
I did. Actually, I was at the market.
You
and I
asked
was
the
looking at-
question, what do you use to shoot these?
That's right. What
would
do
you
you
think?
use to shoot
Well,
these?
the
I mean,
spear
what would
gun,
you
of
use to
course.
shoot
The
those?
spear gun. It's
I would have thought the spear gun. You're right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Duckfish.
Have you seen those before?
No.
Well, look at that. It's got
I reckon you were telling me about a girlfriend you had at high school that looked very similar, though.
puppy eyes like that and a low mouth or something like that. I don't know. Geez, yeah. But,
Anyway, boys, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
Oh dear, shouldn't have mentioned duck opening. I think we did that last year too, and it was just as bad. Let's get into it because there's plenty of Catch of the Week, plenty of variety, and let's kick it off with Natalia and Bianca. They headed out off the Rosebud Reef and got some beautiful calamari, and there is a lot of calamari down the Mornington Peninsula right now, Ads.
Yeah, there is. And Rosebud Reef's been a destination that sort of popped up to us down at Mornington for the last... Well, this is probably the first time we've heard of it in any great number for the years that we've been there. It just seems to be a place that's fired in the last couple of weeks, and it's good to see.
The capital of King George Whiting over in Western Port, and we might talk about Western Port later on because I think it's been a little bit tough.
Yeah, it has.
But the capital is the Middle Spit, and George Golovkin, I think I've said that right, Golovkin. Do you reckon that's right, Charlie?
Golovkin.
Golovkin.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he got some King George whiting on the middle spit the other day, and that's a nice catch.
It is.
Good couple of
Obviously,
handfuls.
pristine conditions we've had, for weekends in a row now.
Yeah, true.
It was just beautiful on the weekend, and obviously George got out and got a beautiful catch. Let's keep punching through this one. I've got a little bit of a note here. Hi, David, Adam and Trelly, and we'll put it up. We kept hearing that there were plenty of snapper out in the bay but could never catch one until this weekend passed. We bagged 4 in 20 minutes, then it went quiet. We were off Mornington in 18 metres water, the largest measured 56 centimetres. They were very pleased. Alexander and Marissa. Well done to Alexander and Marissa. Lovely table fish those size, aren't they?
Yeah, great
And
fish.
we're banging on for probably 3 weeks now that as that water temperature cruises through 18 degrees, I actually think it might still be a little bit warmer. I think it went down and up again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that. We're in the shallows
Yeah.
off Mornington on Sunday and it was still reading 20 degrees. So that's awesome because the snapper are going to keep going.
And some good reports, even up to 22 metres of water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up to 7 kilos we've been hearing too.
Yeah, once you start hitting
in the same
22.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
22 metres of water, there's a chance of seeing a bluefin.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon and Ethan, they also got out on the snapper, and Coronella was fantastic. There was beautiful snapper being caught, and there's Simon, and there's Ethan, I think, to follow. Both got out there and got some nice, again, beautiful table-sized fish.
And they're
Lovely.
beautiful looking fish too, aren't they? They're healthy.
Yeah.
They almost look new.
Yeah.
Yet they're ready to sort of
Great
leave the
conditions.
bay and do their thing.
Great
Absolutely.
conditions. Trucky t-shirt.
Well, yeah, that's quite nice.
There you
I'd like
go.
to say the next one, Charlie.
Right.
Mick the Bulldog. Mick the Bulldog was fishing for whiting.
Doggies. He's got his
I don't
doggy
see,
shirt.
there's a
Look at
little,
that.
there's a little rod in the corner there, and Mick the Bulldog got that gummy shark on a tiny little whiting gear with 4 kilo line.
Yeah.
That's a nice gummy in anyone's books when you're whiting
Do
fishing,
you
isn't
know
it?
why
It
he
is.
got that?
Why?
Because it was so rough. Gummy sharks have the rough water.
That is
That
rough.
didn't look rough in the back.
Hasn't there been some sensational
Oh, the weather's
days?
been.
Yeah.
You could
We've
not
got to
have
keep going
asked
because
for
we've got
anything
plenty. This one, I'll tell you what, I could kill this kid because... no, seriously.
righto.
No. I am jealous. No, I am going to put it out there.
We know
I
what you mean.
I don't get jealous, but I am jealous of this kid. He went out on his 12th birthday. Bill Jowd, or Joe, how do you say that, boys?
Oh, no, but good on you, Bill. I think you're a
10
legend.
plus kilo kingfish in the rip. Now, it was Bill's 12th birthday, I believe.
Yeah.
And out there with mum and dad and just a lazy little kingfish.
And hasn't the quality of the kingies jumped in the last fortnight?
I went down there Sunday afternoon and the water was green and full of seagrass. It was just disgusting. But apparently Saturday they went off. So anyway, let's keep rolling through. Mark Gray, he headed out the western entrance, out the back of Phillip Island.
bit of
Lovely
that.
little mako. Thank
Cracking
you
photo.
very
That
much.
is.
Oh, that is.
Cracking photo.
That's
Yeah.
a cracker, isn't it?
How beautiful are those
Nice.
fish too? Still got all the nice blue colourings on it.
And he
Mark
did
the
send in
mako
some
shark
photos
catcher.
of the flake fillets that he got off that, and
Nice.
it's just sensational eating, isn't it? So let's head inland and talk about the yellow belly of Lake Eildon because there's been some sensational catches. And Tessa Jackson got up there on the weekend. That's a cracker yellow belly,
That's a
Charlie.
Like
nice,
Tess.
yeah,
Hey,
nice looking yellow belly, isn't it?
a few of them around.
Great, yeah, good size.
Yeah,
That,
I mean, we can't do
to
Catch the
eat.
Week justice at the moment because there's so many pictures being sent in.
There is.
But that is just a typical yellow belly from Eildon. Let's head to the other inland fishery. There's just one of our favourites, and we're going to talk a bit more about this tonight. Hazelwood Pondage. The Barramundi have turned on. Now, there's no way this bloke's name is Bruce Lee.
no,
Yeah, look at him.
He doesn't. No, well, he doesn't look like a karate expert. Does he?
No.
Yeah, they're the ones
Could
you got to
be.
Or
worry
he's
about.
put a fake name out there. But Bruce,
They're
anyway,
the ones you got to worry about.
We'll
Dave.
call you.
but his mate put him in.
We'll call you Bruce Lee, but what a lovely barramundi out of Hazelwood Pondage. That's a cracker fish there,
Yeah.
and well done to you, Bruce. And plenty of other reports, but Jesse Mathias, this is the one that didn't get away.
Yeah.
An 85 centimetre barramundi out of Hazelwood Pondage. Now, that's the biggest
It's a big
fish that we have seen so far. And I've got to say, Jesse didn't measure that fish. He called it for 80 at the time.
Yep.
He got back to work on Wednesday and he looked at a brag mat and he said there's no way it was 80 centimetres. It was much bigger.
Nice.
So
Okay.
he's been interviewed by Neil Mitchell on 3NW. He's on the
He's
front
world- he's
page of
world
the
class now.
Latrobe Valley Express.
Yeah.
Well done to Jesse. We're going to talk more about barramundi.
That was
If you'd
land-based,
like-
land-based too, by the way.
Yeah,
It
so
was
that mark in the
land-based, yeah.
background.
Yeah.
If you would like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
And coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, the best lures for Hazelwood Barra, right after this.
Talking fishing.
We
know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
Now, something really, really cool has happened in the last few weeks. Hazelwood Pondage has been open to everyone, and we're starting to get a little bit of a snapshot on what's actually working. Now, the downfall to the ballot system, though I think it was necessary in the beginning, the downfall is different people fishing every single week, and we couldn't work out what the fish were taking consistently. That's all changed, which leads me into the first product of the week. This right here, we've had on the show before, but is now proved to be a Hazelwood killer. This is the fused fin bait. Now, these little paddle tails are just getting it done at the moment, and two big things we've learned. Colour we were pretty well switched onto, and it worked out really well. The bright pinks, the bright chartreuse purples, we've all kind of always known that with water clarity and what the barra are feeding on, but it's the size. We're all fishing way too big, it turns out. Now, these 3 and 4 inch paddle tails are the ones that have been getting the fish fired up at the moment, which I wouldn't have picked this, Dave,
No.
because we did see a snapshot of how big the local bait fish is in there, and it is quite big. But
Yeah, but there's also lots of small fish ads. We
That's
only
right.
we only get the big fish out.
that's right,
Yeah.
and this is where having it open slather to everyone involved. This is what we're starting to find out.
Yeah.
So these little plastics here. Basically, these little paddle tails are designed to not only give a little kick of the tail, but the body rolls, and that is really, really important for barra. These two colours in a 3 and a 4 inch I've got there. 1/4 ounce jig head. That's a little squidgy weapon jig head there, because they have got quite a heavy gauge hook, which is important for barra.
Yep.
These are absolutely slaying fish at the moment, and it's so exciting because everything's starting to fall into place. And we saw Jesse with a huge fish, which I'm going to get to and tell you exactly what he caught it on in a minute. But these little fused paddle tails are getting the job done, and it is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
It's all about matching the hatch, isn't it?
It is.
And
It
I
is.
know, the one and only time that I've fished it, we used some fairly larger size hard bodies, but it was about matching the colours.
Yeah.
At that time, we needed to get down deep.
Yep.
The water was still a bit cool, and it worked. But so many people are catching them on soft plastics now.
Yeah, that's right. And continuing on with that theme, we've also noticed our sales in pre-rigged squidgy start to really ramp up, because the good thing about these, they are weighted exactly to what the size of the plastic requires. So you've not only got that body roll and also that big paddle tail, but they're rigged exactly to the weight required to get the perfect action. So that's a squidgy mongrel, which I'm holding up there. White has been the most popular colour by far. Now, I think we find the whites tend to do really well after a big rain. We've just had a nice downpour today, and I think you'll find the whites start to come in their own because they're very, very visible in the dirty water. That little one there, believe it or not, that size, that is a tiny soft plastic which you would consider for barramundi, but again, pre-weighted, a nice big hook for a small soft plastic, and it just allows you to work them to absolute perfection, and the barra can't resist. So this is exciting stuff, fellas, because I wouldn't have picked small lures to be the ones that are doing all the damage, but that's what's happening
When
right
you
now.
say pre-weighted, Adam, excuse me, you mean that another thing there is they'll drop at a certain rate, like they don't drop through the water like a
That's
red
right.
balloon.
That's right. They are designed for a specific purpose, and the boys at Shimano designed these around barramundi. Obviously, they work for a lot of different species, but they're designed to have a controlled sink rate.
Yeah.
They've also very, very conscious of action. It's a big thing we don't talk about with soft plastics
It's got a
enough.
fair sized tail on it too.
It does.
Hasn't it?
That's a big thumping tail designed to get
vibration.
it. That's right, to get attraction. So
Yeah.
they're an absolute cracker.
You leave the plastic on for blokes like me too.
Yeah, so you take that off the hooks. Now the next one's hot off the press.
Yep.
That lure you can see on screen at the moment, I don't actually have one to show you, because that is the lure that Jesse Mathias, who we saw in Product of the Week, Catch of the Week even, That's the exact lure that he caught it on, and we don't have any left. There is some arriving tomorrow.
Looks like a redfin colour.
We're onto it. That's right. But again, bright.
Well, it's orange. It's actually orange.
Yeah, so
It's really matching the hatch. Those cichlids that are in there, in that bright orange colour, that's just matching it. And I've got to say, we've used gold and orange, we've used black and orange before, but never a straight orange with a couple of black stripes.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesse he's been nailing it with it. So I think we've got 50 turning up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Didn't quite arrive today.
The other interesting thing about that lure and that catch is Jesse caught that fish in very shallow water. Hence why the hard body was the go-to. Those ones I've been talking about previously, both the fuse and the squidgies, they've been caught rolling them along rock walls. Now we know that holds barra, but Jesse did something a little bit different, and it resulted in an 85 centimetre barra. And 85 is an estimation. It could have been bigger than that. We don't know. But he did something different. He used a hard body in a colour which would have been the last one that we all would have chosen, but it matched the hatch in shallow water, and look at the results. And
he lost it on the next cast.
There you go.
Yeah. So I said to Jesse, where's the photo of the lure? Where's that? And he goes, I had one and I lost it on the next cast.
So it's still in Hazelwood.
It's still in Hazelwood,
It's still working.
It'd be sitting around a snag somewhere. Anyway.
So that's it on the lure market. The other thing we're getting asked constantly, we've got people coming through the stores now that want to get into it, but are not quite sure on gear. And it's very easy to get carried away, because the first thing we think of when we think Barramundi is we're not accustomed to that fishery, and we think it's all too hard and it's way too expensive. It's not. I bought a couple of combos to show you what's happening at the moment. Now, Trelly, if you could grab that baitcaster combo for me there. This is a Shimano Katana 5'6", I'm pretty sure it is, a 5'6" baitcaster rod. 6 to 8 kilo. Now that's got a little Shimano KS. Now the reel we've had on the show before, so I won't go into too much detail. We know how good it is, but that is a price point baitcaster combo which will cast every single barramundi lure that you want to cast and catch these fish. Why I like this rod, it's not overly expensive, but it's light enough to have fun on these small fish. Most of them sitting between that maybe 50 and 65. That average size might be up a little bit because they've been in there a little bit now. But if you get onto one of these 80 centimetre plus fish, absolutely no problems at all at handling that combo. So great price point. We can afford that. Bit of 15 to 20 pound braid and you're set to go casting your bigger hard bodies. That's been one walking out the door in the shops.
Best thing about that too is you're a bit keen about baitcasters. It's exactly the same rig as you'd use for cod.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's the thing. You're not buying something like a surf rod you're going to use once and not take it anywhere else. You can use it on Murray cod. You can get the KS in left hand. So if the guys want to do left hand, and it's very, very versatile.
Yep, so that's a great combo we've noticed. And the other one, as some of these soft plastics that I just showed you are quite small, and they start to get a bit hard to cast with a bait cast because they don't have the weight behind them. That's where these spin combos are coming into play. So this is a Shimano Revolution matched with a 4000 Nasky. Keep the same line class, that 15 to 20 pound. This makes casting those smaller, lighter soft plastics a hell of a lot easier, but still powerful enough to handle a big fish. Now that rod there is weighted 4 to 7 kilo, 6'9" one piece. This also becomes your pinky and your snapper combo. So again, casting these soft plastics work on Murray cod and yellow belly. They're not just combos for Hazelwood Pondage, but they work so well because it allows us to cast accurately and work properly the lures I've just spoken about to get them down to depth and to catch those fish.
And don't be fooled by that rating that you put on there, that 4 to 7 kilo. That'll hold big fish.
If you wanted to run a 30 pound braid through that, you can. You've got to remember that's a mono rating, which is rated on diameter of mono. We know braids are a lot thinner. They make rods so well these days. They just don't break like they used to. But there's a couple of options in a combo where you don't have to break the bank, but they can be, and they're versatile combos which you can use for more than one thing.
Hagani gears.
I think we're onto a couple of good ones there, boys, and the word's getting out now because there's people fishing Hazelwood, catching fish, and we're starting to get that snapshot of what's working and when. It's great.
Good work.
Let's continue that theme, Ads, because Hazelwood certainly is in the news, and the news is that the power station closes down in 2 weeks' time. And if you want to Google Latrobe Valley Express, there's a couple of good stories in there this week that I've contributed to about the future of Hazelwood Pondage, and certainly Jesse features in that newspaper as well with the biggest fish coming out. But there's some serious work going on, boys. So Melbourne Uni are out there now doing all the water data information that we need from that underground water that's being pumped from the mine. Now that's going to be pumped for the next 8 years. There is a Barramundi reference group meeting in Spring Street on Thursday. So it's a couple of us anglers, there's Fisheries, there's Engie, the power station managers, there's the local council. We're going to be talking about it all. So there's some serious discussion going on Thursday about the future of Barramundi in Hazelwood Pondage. But our initial reports from Melbourne Uni studies is that things are going to be okay. It's not going to, the hot water is not going to be like it was. When the power station shuts down, we lose a fair percentage of hot water pumped in, but there is still hot water being pumped in. So stay tuned. There's a bit of work to do.
Dave, a question without notice to you. Obviously, knowing a little bit of what's going on, what's your gut feeling? Is there a future for Hazelwood Barra? Obviously, it's not going to last forever. We know that. We're not saying that there is. But what's your gut feeling? Is this something we could enjoy for longer than, say, this year?
Oh, I think we've got 8 years, without doubt, because that artesian or underground water is 54 degrees pumped at 600 litres per second. That's a lot of water. So at the moment that water is pumped into the cooling channel. It then goes over a rock wall to try and cool down. We need to stop that. Okay, so we don't want it cooled down. We want it to maintain its heat. What might happen is that all those barramundi go up the channel for the time being. What I'm discussing, and I had some quick messages to the Premier today. I can tell you, so it's pretty high level. Is that we want that water pumped directly into the lake, not into the cooling channel. So it's a bit of infrastructure. If that went straight into the lake, that will create a lot of hot water in the lake. It will probably result in a very large area of hot water, and we'll have a barramundi fishery, no doubt at all. So that gives us 8 years to find. When they stop pumping that water from underneath the mine because they want it all fill up with water, we're going to find another heat source. There's plenty of that going on overseas. There's plenty of it around the world, and I think we'll have a solution in 8 years to artificially heat that lake and keep the barramundi going, because there's no doubt, I reckon by June, we're going to have some 1 metre long barramundi. There you go. Up next, fisheries news, including how you can have your say on not having to register a low-powered watercraft. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Plenty of news tonight, boys, so straight into it, okay? And the first headline is, outraged onlookers report alleged calamari thieves. I tell you what, this is a cracker. No, it's bad. It is bad. Yeah. And I know this happened 10 days ago now, but
I'll give you some facts on that afterwards.
All right, let's get into it.
Facts,
outraged onlookers called Fisheries 24-hour hotline several times as they watched a man and woman allegedly take 4 times the legal limit of calamari at Mornington Pier the other day. The callers told the 13 Fish line the couple had been fishing at the pier since early on Thursday morning, and these guys just, they just kept doing the wrong thing. It went on to say later in the morning, fisheries officers, so they report it. Now, the thing is, fisheries officers may not respond to every 13 Fish call. They can't respond to every single one of them, but they collect the information. They knew the reg of the car. So later on that morning, Fisheries officers intercepted the couple and they located a total of 78 calamari in various different bags in different locations inside the vehicle trolley. Different locations.
Be inventive.
Yesterday's alleged offenders will be charged on summons and face penalties of $3,109 each. So that's $6,218. What's that divided by 78 calamari? Anyone got any idea?
Too much.
Bloody expensive anyway.
About $85.75.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they're in the shit. Anyway, it went on to say Fisheries officers back at the same pier the same morning spoke to two men who claimed 20 calamari overtly displayed in their vehicle was their total catch for the day. However, the officers allegedly found a further 46 calamari in the spare wheel well of the vehicle. Both men had their fishing equipment and all the calamari seized, and both will be charged on summons. What is going on?
It's an obvious spot, isn't it?
The unfortunate...
What, the spare wheel well?
Yeah. The unfortunate truth...
Here's a photo
this,
too, while we're
have a
talking
look
about this,
while
a photo of all these calamari.
The unfortunate truth
Disgusting.
is the Mornington Pier is in a little bit of a purple patch at the moment, and this happens 4 or 5 times a year. It's going absolutely burko.
Yeah.
To give you an idea on, unfortunately, how common this is, we've had people in the shop bragging about how many they're taking.
That's
Really?
Yeah.
What, and they don't care?
Nope. The way they see it, and it's disgusting, the way they see it is they fish there every day of the week. They're all the time on the hands, these people. And it's almost like for every day they don't catch, they claim it in lieu.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on. A bit of good news. Anglers welcome a new jetty at Clifton Springs. Recreational anglers can now safely wet a line from a new jetty at Clifton Springs thanks to $250,000 in funding from the Andrews Labor government's Target 1 million plan. Previously, there had been 2 wooden piers at the Clifton Springs boat ramp that were in a state of disrepair and starting to fall down. That's a crack of a jetty there.
That's nice, isn't it?
Visiting the newly completed jetty today, member for Bellarine Lisa Neville, good friend of the show, said Target 1 million was investing $47 million into recreational fishing to increase participation and get more people fishing more often. The 35-metre long jetty has already proved popular with family groups over the summer holidays, so it's been there for a little while. The All Abilities jetty is 2.9 metres wide, features a large fishing area at the end to cater for more anglers. The jetty is a modular design so it can be extended into the future as need arises. So that is...
So a bit of forward planning into that too. I like it.
Jetties,
look ahead.
I like it.
Unlike the Mornington jetty that took 8 years to build.
It keeps getting smashed up
still
in the
gets
first storm,
smashed up. Anyway, got to keep going. Harriet Shing, who's the local MP for Eastern Victoria, a media release from Harriet. Track improvements completed at Lake Tyers is the headline. Recreational anglers can now enjoy better access to fishing spots in Lake Tyers State Park with the completion of 17.7 kilometres of improvement works on 7 vehicle tracks. Now, you would have taken one of them the other day.
Yeah, we would have. And we had a 4-wheel drive, and to give you an idea, as we were coming in, we saw a Mazda 3 coming out.
Was it smooth as a baby's bum?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't quite that smooth, but but it was pretty good.
Wow.
Oh, it's
Just asking.
Mazda
question.
3?
Yeah. Well, it must
from
have
Mornington
been.
Mazda?
It was definitely, naturally.
Anyway, it goes on to say improving angler access is a key element of the Andrews Labor government's Target 1 million plan, which funded these works. The Target 1 million plan aims to get more people fishing and get them out or near the water more often. The track improvements were undertaken by Parks Victoria using a $45,000 grant from Target 1 Million's Better Fishing Facilities program. The focus of the investment was improving access, and I think we've got a table of where all the access tracks were. If you know the area, there you go. Burnt Bridge, 2.8 kilometres. Cherry Tree Track 1.3, running through them. Gibbs Track 1.6, Petman Road 5.2, Morgan's Landing Ironbark Track 2 kilometres. So great investment in getting people around Lake Tyers because those flathead in the shallow, that's land-based.
Too good to ignore.
But whether it be a pier or a track, it's all access, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Next one, fantastic signs for Victorian King George whiting is the headline, and it says high numbers of juvenile King George whiting, a bit like Trelly, have been recorded juvenile at times in recent fisheries surveys of Port Phillip Bay, which is great news for whiting stocks and recreational anglers. Fisheries Victoria Executive Director Travis Dowling said this new strong year class of whiting would grow quickly and be a catchable size for spring 2018.
That's it.
Nice.
Just round the corner.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good. They're getting the study back.
End of netting in Cryo Bay in 2018, Trelly.
That's
going to help your Geelong
correct.
shop there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, helps the fishing in general all over, and we're seeing the results now. So this is great news.
Went on to say the annual surveys have been undertaken around the bay since 1998 and are a reliable predictor of future catches. The bumper whiting catches enjoyed by anglers in recent times are the result of exceptional juvenile whiting numbers detected in the 2013 survey. Anglers have welcomed the latest results given low juvenile whiting counts in 2014 and 15, and went on to say westerly winds help drive the currents that bring the whiting larvae into the bay, where they take about 2 years to reach the legal minimum size of 27 centimetres. At about 4 years of age, most whiting have left the bays to complete their life in coastal waters. That'll do on that one. Good whiting fishing. A couple of things I want to get through, and this is posted on our Facebook page if anyone wants to see more details. But Transport Safety Victoria has just released a discussion paper, boys. What are you laughing at, Charlie? That last shot we had at the restaurant. The last discussion paper, released a discussion paper in relation to low-powered paddlecraft. So what they're talking about is canoes and kayaks. If you go and put an electric motor on it, if you go and put an electric motor on a little tinny, what they're saying is that under the current legalities, you have to register that craft, even though it might only be a 40-pound thrust water snake engine, and then you have to have a boat licence to drive it, and you have to have minimum safety requirements. So you might be paddling in 2 metres of water. So there's a discussion paper out, and all the details were put up on our Facebook page earlier today. So please get onto Talking Fishing's Facebook page, have a look, and please make some comments. You've got, I've probably got some details in here. I did write some things in here. Here's some facts. The use of paddlecraft, such as kayaks and canoes, is becoming increasingly popular in Victoria. There's 644,000 people have kayaks, and which is 14% of all Victorians. So there's a fair few, and it just makes common sense to break down these laws. That's that one. The other one that we've put up on Facebook as well today is that Parks Victoria are asking for comments about putting non-powered watercraft such as kayaks and canoes onto Devil Bend Reservoir. You've got until this Friday to make some comments, so please, even if you just go and put a little email saying, yes, I support this. It's all about numbers. It's all about people that want it. If you want to see kayaks and canoes on Devil Bend Reservoir, get onto Talking Fishing's Facebook page. The link is there. Have your say. That's what you got to do. And some great news for kayak and canoe fishers.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all it all seems based around common sense, which is it's always nice when you see common sense.
I'm surprised they weren't allowed on there. I would have not known because about the other.
It was sensitive. There was 2 sea eagles there. Charlie, they were living there before you're allowed to fish there.
I can fix them up.
Up next, Kramer's mailbag and plenty more on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Plenty of mailbag to get through, boys, but just before I do that, just a reminder, seeing that Mornington Mazda there, that a heartfelt condolences go out to Tony Groves, the dealer principal at Mornington Mazda, on the passing of his father yesterday in pretty unexpected circumstances. And Brian Groves was the founder of Mornington Mazda, and very sad time for that family. So we shared a couple of nice little stories about special people in our lives today. It was pretty good. So So, yeah, thoughts are with you, Tony. Would you believe my gardener just texted me and said my hair's looking messy tonight? I don't know.
Dave.
Anyway, no, seriously. Plenty of mailbag going on. Let's kick it off. And this lady, I think, should be invited to our karaoke night.
Oh, yes.
No, Andy wrote to us and he goes, Western Port must be broken, or Harry Potter has turned all the whiting into flathead and all the gummy sharks into flat things. So he's obviously not catching any fish, not catching any whiting, not catching any gummies. The biggest, and we've got a photo here, the biggest banjo, it's a PB for my missus. It was 1 metre long from nose to tail. Anyway.
It's a big banjo.
On you, Andy.
Chin up.
Bad luck about the fishing.
Chin up.
Yeah.
You'll be right.
Careful the
Sorry, mate, I can't catch any of
Next one was Loz sent this to us.
Loz up.
On behalf of Matt and Az.
Oh, yeah.
Matt
So,
Naz.
yeah, Loz, Matt and Az.
Nice.
Yeah, good family, them. Saturday Arvo headed out off Clifton Springs. Oh, we've got the photos up already. There you go.
thing.
That's not their boat, by the way.
Well, they caught it off a fad.
I'll read I'll read the story. Apparently they didn't leave it there. Saturday Arvo headed out off Clifton Springs to try for whiting and gummy. Firstly came across one guy who had flipped his boat. He forgot to put his bungs in.
Yeah, it sucks.
Bad day. Got him back on dry land and the Coast Guard towed the boat back in. After this we started fishing out in the channel and managed some pinkies. Good karma came around for us when we targeted whiting with many whiting around the 40 centimetre mark, and my biggest went 43 centimetres. The photo below shows the size.
Nice.
That is fantastic. Well done, Loz and Matt Naz. You probably saved a life there and got a good feed at
Well
the same
played,
time.
team.
So
Well
well
played.
done. You know the boys that, what's the words? Tolondo?
Yeah, Tolondo.
Oh, yeah.
Hazelwood.
They have a shot every time.
They can't remember last week's show? Or?
Well, I think there was a bit of a disaster last week, and they have sent in a photo. The bottle went in record time, and they soon got on the beers. Here they are.
There's the crew.
And Archie writes to us and said, "You made my mate in the black shirt chuck his guts up on Tuesday night."
lucky they're not going to
He's
Toronto
probably,
this week.
he's probably a lawyer on Wednesday. He won't be going to Toronto or Hazelwood.
Hazelwood. Well, he's
right.
had a good one tonight with everything about Hazelwood we've
There you
spoken
go.
about earlier.
Golly, that'd be
Anyway, good to see
rolling.
our fans are
I
behaving
wonder if you got
themselves.
an invite this week.
Dave writes, he writes this, hi guys, I'm really keen to buy one of those small Sea Dog burley pots that were featured on your show on the 22nd of February. I can't find where to buy one and all Tackle World shops are at least an hour away from me. Is there any chance a Tackle World will post one out to me? Well, what are you going to say? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Just say
5
yes.
kilo weight, it'll cost him $300 in post.
Oh,
If you want the lead weight, it's 3 kilos, I think.
3 kilos.
It's the heaviest burley pot on the market.
3 kilos.
Get a 5 kilo bag.
Dave, if you write into, Kramer at ifish.com.au, get in contact with us, we'll work out how to get one to you.
I thought that's what he just done.
Yeah, but he's got to write where to drop it and how to pay. Like, you can't just write in, what is he going to give me his credit card details and I'll read them out and
Well, I can. His phone number.
pay for dinner. Can pay for dinner next week. We want that soft shell crab next week, don't we?
We do.
That was
that
nice.
looked awesome.
Yeah.
Instead we had lemongrass chicken. There was no lemongrass in that. Anyway,
I could taste it.
Could you?
Yeah.
Cashews, but
Yeah.
Cashews were nice.
yeah, I can see them hanging out the back.
Hey, hang on. Oh, let's just stop. I've got only a couple more mailbags left to go. I think we've got time. What would you have done with those sea eagles at Devil Bend?
Well, I'm not
What were
too
you
sure
talking about?
whose safety factors into this. Like, is it the sea eagle or the guy in the kayak? Like, the sea eagle's trying to mate with a small white kayak, or is it
Trying to
are they
mate,
swooping them? I don't know. What's the issue?
Well,
Who's the danger?
I think they felt that people might disturb the 2 sea eagles that hover at 150 metres above the lake.
Okay.
Or you really wouldn't
They probably
hurt
look
them at
like
all
a-
unless you had a shotgun.
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
you're a
I
damn good
did
cast
offer-
of a lure.
I did offer a solution.
It's all about results. It's all about
let's
results.
get on
They
with it.
don't
The
taste that
Friends of
good
Devil
anyway.
Bend Reservoir are a nasty group and they'll be writing to us now. So let's get on with it. I'm not sure how long we've got to go because they're
Don't
not
cook
yelling in
well.
my ear
Yeah, no.
this week. I don't know what's going
It's
on.
slack in the control room.
Simon wrote this. G'day Kramer. Well, g'day back. I was wondering if you could help me out. I've been fishing with my brother for the last 5 years. You poor thing. What? I wonder if it's every day. Imagine putting up with your brother every day for 5 years. Around the bay in a boat, in waders in the Victorian Alps,
Siamese twins.
on the banks at Westport, in the Glenelg on a canoe, off the banks of the Ume and in my dam. I've tried live bait, spinners, lures, poppers, droppers, yabbies and crabs. It's a bit like that song, I've been everywhere, mate. Everywhere, man. And all I've caught is 5 undersized bream. Well, you're doing all right if you've done that in your dam, mate. I was wondering if you'd know if there is anyone out there who knows how to fish at all, because my brother's useless. From Simon McHarrig.
Got a sister?
Well, his sister's probably a better fisher than his brother. Anyway,
Stop taking bananas.
Ring Adam. Ring Adam at Tackle World Mornington tomorrow, and he'll put you on to someone who can take you fishing. You love those calls,
Cut him off
don't
at
you,
the
mate?
hip.
Hey?
Yeah, I'll sort him out.
Yeah. Go fishing for sea eagles at Devonbend. And last one, Neil Mack writes, it's Neil Mack from Druin again. Thought I'd pass on an unusual event that occurred a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to get through them all. I've got one unopened.
Oh, give me that one. I'll open it.
You proofread it because I haven't read it yet. Neil Mack said he caught a whiting and it was, he caught a 450mm one, or 45 centimetres in the same terms, and his mate got one and he broke the line off halfway between the sinker and the hook. A few curses followed. About an hour later, a couple of shifts and no further luck. Alan again had to hook up another whiting of the same size. This one was netted. When they got it in the net, they looked and there was his hook and line hanging out. So he said, is this an unusual occurrence or have you had similar experiences? Well, Don Newman from the Western Port Angling Club, he's about to turn 99.
I was going to say,
he's 1 year and 7 days off his 100th birthday.
Good innings.
And he tagged one and he got one. Anyway, they're yelling in my ear, Adam. What's this one?
Yeah, a bit of a plug.
Let's do it next week then. Looks complicated.
It's from it's easy. From David Young, Brighton Central Angling Club 40-year reunion. Stop it! I thought this was just another fishing comp. This is good. A 40-year reunion. Everyone that's ever been part of the Brighton Central Angling Club. It's at the club rooms in Francis Street, East Brighton. Friday, the 31st of March at 7 p.m. $10 a head, ladies. Welcome. There's a couple of phone numbers there. It's the 31st of March.
Oh, so we can put it on next week's show.
Yeah, we can. Good on you, David. It's a Kramer.
Hopefully they've got karaoke there. If you'd like to write into Kramer's mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Coming up next, this week's Hotspots. See you soon on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worslam's Tackle World Kramer. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Hello, Richie Minnow here. It's now time for this week's Fishing Hotspots on Talking Fishing. Marvellous.
I'm surprised.
Where is Richie Minnow? He's not in my ear tonight.
Yeah, I was right. I'm surprised Richie was there for that. Looks like Chloe didn't let him out tonight.
No, he's got his period. You said that through my break. What am I supposed to say
I did not say that.
We broke a nail or something.
I said he stubbed his toe. He stubbed his toe. I didn't say what you just said.
Oh, is he watching?
I think he's watching.
He's not now.
Next.
All right, let's get on to the hot spots. I can't believe you said that, Charlie.
That's gold.
The snapper are in town. It's 18 degrees, Jack. There's a man at the back of the cameras there just laughing.
It's all right, Jack. There's not many weeks to go. They can't exactly kick us off.
We're counting down the weeks until this entertainment stops. But anyway, hot spots, boys. One hot spot is Mount Eliza in 18 metres of water.
Snappers.
The snapper have turned on. We said the water temperature. Charlie, you're crying. Mount Eliza, 18 metres of water. There is some good snapper around. It's only a matter of time, but before a few 8-9 kilos.
Yeah, correct. Well, there was a big one during the week.
What's a big one?
Yeah. Nice red one.
All right, let's head over to the western seaboard of Port Phillip Bay. It's always the capital of King George whiting. We saw some gummy sharks being caught off there as well, but St Leonard's, I am told, is just
on fire.
Unbelievable for King George whiting at the moment. Just find the sand patches amongst the weed beds there. You don't have to go far. 3 to 4 metres of water. The more current, the better, boys, and cuttlefish the top bait at the moment off St Leonard's.
Nice flick of squid you get too.
What period of day was that?
When the sun's, when you get those nice red mornings.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the go-to.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to be serious.
Anyway, middle spit, Dave.
Is the middle spit next?
The middle spit's next.
The capital Western Port, Whiting, the middle spit. There is plenty of fish there. Now, I'm told there was a 47 and a 48 caught there this week.
Nice.
Some very, very good fish.
They're healthy whiting.
That you're not quite seeing those ones in Port Phillip.
No,
there's some good 40 and 41s.
Yeah, but not.
But
imagine 50.
47, 48 off the middle spit at the moment, and you need to fish that run out tide when the water's just coming off those banks, and
Love
just
it.
absolutely beautiful. Let's head out the western entrance now. More and more people are fishing it off Cape Shank. Getting out there, there are some big kingfish. You need to get in shallow.
That's right.
Amongst the rock walls.
Live bait.
Live squid just towed very, very slowly. And there are some monster kingfish.
And they are a different size class to everything we've seen so far this season. They are genuine.
Yep.
They are genuine 9 and 10 kilo fish. Genuine.
No tuna?
There's tuna.
Yeah,
You just got to
tuna
find the
further
birds
out.
gate a bit wider.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want a kingfish, in close and around those rock walls. So it's pretty good. A couple of inland places to go, and there's no better time than right now. I know two boys are going to do it on... What's today? Tuesday. They're going to do it on Thursday night, Jerry and Gaz. They're heading down to Devil Bend Reservoir. And the estuary perch are absolutely on fire in Devil Bend. Yep. Now, I was talking to Jerry on the way in the car, and I said, what's the number one thing that you can do to catch an estuary perch in Devil Bend? And he said, fish on sunset.
Yep.
He said, almost dark, fish surface, fish soft plastics, anything that splashes, a popper.
Yep.
And the estuary perch are absolutely on fire. But fish into dark, particularly when there's a little bit of moon. It's a clear night, a little bit of moon, and it is absolutely on fire.
They'll have a nice romantic evening down there, Jerry and Gaz.
Yeah. And lucky last, and we can't go past this one. It's on every week virtually at the moment because it is so good. Lake Eildon, the yellow belly are absolutely on fire.
Well, we don't want to put it on there, but it's just forcing us to with the way the fishing's been.
Well, that's right. I mean, lots and lots of reports coming back from there. Again, that Delatite, the Bonnie Doon Junction type of area.
Yep.
And just
and
work
the
your
others are
banks.
all big.
So, they're
all 50 plus.
Yeah. And get ready with another rod too, because sometimes you'll actually pull them up and you'll pull up a few other fish with it. Like you'll catch a male or a female and the other ones come up. Get ready with another rod with another little jig or a jag and just drop it down and sort of work beside them. So
is this late? Is this late for yellow belly at Eildon?
No, it'll probably run a little bit longer. But, Easter's late this year.
Yeah.
So it'll run a little bit longer, Yeah, for good.
Question without notice, what's the water level at Eildon, do you know?
71%.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
So there's plenty of water up there.
It's on
heaps
the
of
board
water.
today anyway, so
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. There you go. There's our hotspots. Get into them because it's going to be another cracker weekend this weekend. Boys, I just want to follow up a little bit more discussion on powered watercraft. So there's a bit of a revolution happening at the moment where there's a couple of brands that have brought out a small electric motor. So I think, is it an 18 pound? The little water snake?
I think you can get them in 18 or 24s.
And they're virtually 4 bolts onto the edge of your kayak, a little side bracket, 90 degree, little electric motor, tiller steer, nothing too fancy.
Nothing too full on, but effective.
Now your dad's just gone and registered his kayak, yeah?
He has, because one of those motors that you're talking about, he mounted one of them to his kayak, and they're a cracker little thing, but the rigmarole that you have to go.
Yeah.
He's got to have nav lights.
Really?
Yep. He's got to have lights. He's got to have flares.
Yep.
Obviously, life jacket we're wearing anyway.
Yeah.
Bailer. But generally, you've got something that acts like a bucket on a kayak anyway. But all the minimum requirements, which is flares and nav lights. Nav lights. So. And don't get me wrong, it sounds the nav light thing sounds a lot more complicated for a kayak than it actually is. You can actually buy
little thing.
And it's just run on batteries, but like a kayak.
Yeah, I know.
And Charlie, some of these watercraft would be used for duck hunting, wouldn't they?
Exactly, yeah. And some of the wetlands you use them in, I mean, you walk out and you're lucky to get your top of your boots wet.
Yeah.
So, and I know you can drown in 2 inches of water and all that type of thing, but again, we're talking about wetlands that at their deepest would probably be 300 to 400 mil size.
Well, how many people on a decent sized bit of water and duck opening would you have duck hunting, say, opening weekend? Say on an average sized waterway.
Oh, look, some of those lakes around Kramer could have, 1,000 people, 500 people.
Well, I would have thought at 500 to 1,000 people with guns, it'd be more dangerous than 6 inches of water.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
Just
well,
saying.
As long as you've got nav lights on.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right.
And a baler.
And flares. I'm in. You shoot a flare.
You used to wear flares in the 70s?
Yeah. Well, actually, I
Still got them on now.
You looked at your ankles. You looked at your ankles.
I was wondering what I was wearing tonight. Yeah, we had those big block shoes, the big.
Yeah, you used to wear them.
Yeah, with the goldfish in it?
Yeah, once I hurt the ankle, so they went.
Yeah. So sensible rules that need to be changed. I think this is part of the eliminating red tape, that Daniel Andrews promised he'd do. And so I think there's, what's the rego worth? About 40 something bucks?
Yeah, $40.
Boat licence that you need as well. There might be another 40 or whatever. And there was one other thing that I think you had to pay. I can't quite remember that. So, but anyway, it's about cutting the red tape and the nonsense around laws. And the other thing is, boys,
fees probably come in.
Yeah, no, I've got this just some comparison, and I know we're running out of time, but New South Wales, 5 horsepower, and you don't need rego. Queensland 4 horsepower, South Australia 2 horsepower, and Tasmania 4 horsepower. So I'd appreciate if many people wrote into this and said, hey, 1 horsepower is not enough. It probably needs to be bumped up a bit. Let's get sensible. And I think there was some better rules. I know my son started driving my boat when he was 12. So anyway, I'm not saying that was all good, but certainly it's time for change, and we need to get in and tell the government.
Pick on a motor size that's available to everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. All the info we discussed tonight will be up on our Facebook page tomorrow, Talking Fishing. Another good weekend heading our way this week with calm seas and mid-20 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.